and welcome to the Good Morning Show, the only show that existence lasts as long as my unemployment status. So, we got a lot of things to cover today, and just give me a second. I'm trying to bring up so I can get some. All right, so yeah, we got a lot of Disney news, a lot of Star Wars news coming up. Remember that after my show at 10 o'clock, Dole Whip Dad goes on. He goes on, and I believe they were doing the birthday of the Tiki Room today. So be sure to tune in on that. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the news. So, let's see. The first thing we're covering is from Inside the Magic. And Disney World Park reservation systems faces issues. Hey, Jaden, thanks for joining. So let's see. It was finally open, and when it wasn't, as guests rush onto the Walt Disney World website, it appears that its park reservation systems had crashed mere minutes after opening. We have continued to follow the Disney Park Pass theme park reservation system on its launch day, and we have updated this article with the most recent information pertaining to guest experiences. Punctual guests reported almost immediately receiving and extending loading the message like the one below, which it's a cartoonish look of the castle, and it says just a moment down below, hang in there, please wait while we complete your request, don't refresh the page or select the back button. After waiting for several minutes, guests then reported being hit with a 504 arrow screen. They were then returned to the Pink Castle waiting page. A few guests were reporting making it past the castle waiting page, but no park reservation options were provided. One guest even reported getting kicked out afterward. It was also being reported that the reservation option was only appearing on the desktop version of the My Disney Experience website and not in the My Disney Experience app, confirming that guest services cast members shared last week. As future Walt Disney World guests neared their second hour of trying to claim their theme park reservation, we, ITM, have witnessed some progress in the system past the Pink Castle and the 504 arrow message. Our reporter now has a wait time. A new screen popped up of a Space Mountain saying, we're almost in orbit. We need a comment or a moment to complete your request. Don't refresh the page or select the back button. And a wait time of 8 minutes and 16 seconds were given. However, it was also reported that this wait time was updated to longer and shorter periods. Around 9 a.m., Inside the Magic received personal confirmation that Disney Report guests could then access the theme park reservation system, but making the reservation themselves was proving to be difficult when selecting available dates. Our Inside the Magic staff members still had trouble securing the reservations for him and his family. So, of course, you know, this was going to happen. I mean, as soon as it come out, people were probably going to be nailing it, and it may have been just it crashed because of an overwhelming number of people trying to get a reservation right away. I can see that happening. Of course, you guys know I'm a gamer, and that stuff happens a lot of times with games that are actually bigger than what they believe they were going to be. And I mean, I played GTA 5. GTA 5, they didn't have enough servers. The system crashed like the first day, especially on GTA Online. But, you know, when you're putting something out there, I don't know if it's a server issue with Disney. I don't know if it was just the system couldn't handle so many people coming in at one time. But, you know, it was kind of like a test run for them being the first day. Handling that many. I don't know if there's a test that they can do to see how many guests the system can handle at one time. But yeah, I could totally understand it crashing the first day. So we're going to move on to a little bit of Star Wars news. We will return to more Actually, you know what? We're going to go on, and we kind of covered this a little bit. Let's take a look at it. And this comes from Entertainment. Lin-Manuel Miranda reveals details of his next Disney animated movie, which really it's not his. He just does the music for it. The Hamilton creator and Moana songwriter is working on a new animated musical set in Colombia. Oh, it's now Colombia. Last time we heard it was Brazil. So Lin Miranda is putting quarantine to good use during an appearance on Monday's Good Morning America. The Hamilton mastermind updated the show's co-host on the status of new projects he has in works. I'm actually writing a new animated musical with Disney Animation, he said. I'm collaborating with the Zootopia guys and Jared Bush, who wrote Moana with me. It's set in Colombia, in Latin America, and that's all I can say before Disney chairman Bob Iger just shows up in my home. So the last time we heard, it was called Encanto. Now, I'm not for sure if that's true, because once again, like I said, these are second news sites. I do need to bring up the one news site I was told that is dependable and you can believe, because I hear a lot of times it's coming from the cast member themselves, but actually on the member or on the movies, I don't think that would be very good. It had previously been reported that Miranda was opening a story for a young Latina heroine amid ongoing cries for increased diversity in Hollywood. I don't understand the cries for diversity for Disney due to the fact that Disney has picked several different, how do you want to say it, princesses that are diverse. And I love that they do that. They go different parts of the world and have different characters from all different cultures. The In the Heights creator co-writer, the song for the 2016 hit Disney movie Moana includes hits like How Far I'll Go and You're Welcome, set in a Polynesian village. The musical movie starred Dwayne Johnson and Rachel Howes, Tamara Morrison, and introducing, I'm going to butcher it, I think it's Ali Kravala as the titular character. So, fans in need of their Miranda fix sooner than a new Disney flick will reach our screens are in luck. A film version of the Hamilton stage show arrives on Disney Plus July 3rd. I've always been wanting to see Hamilton, so I'm glad that's coming. So I'll be definitely watching that on July 3rd. But yeah, the last time we heard it was Brazil. He's saying it's Colombia. And the way it was talked, they said that the movie was going to be called Encanto. And it was going to be about a girl whose family had like magical powers, but she did not. So whether that's true or not, I don't know. Like I said, these are third party news sources. So, but you know, a little by little, you start to get what the big picture is. All right, let's move on. We got some Star Wars news, and this comes from Showbiz Cheat Sheet. And let's see, it's Star Wars The Mandalorian creator Jon Favreau revealed why the TV series is more loved than the sequel trilogy. Jon Favreau's Star Wars The Mandalorian took the world by storm when it debuted November 12, 2019 on Disney+. No one was expecting the discovery of Baby Yoda at the end of the first episode. However, fans feel there is a deeper reason why everyone loves the series. Star Wars The Mandalorian, where did Favreau get his inspiration for the series? Favreau wanted to create something new and unique with The Mandalorian. He found an era of Star Wars that was unaccounted for. The series takes place after the fall of the Empire, but before the First Order returns in The Force Awakens. It was this 25 to 30 year period that Favreau used to create fresh new characters and planets. It was specifically doing a version of Star Wars that felt small. Favreau said at the ATX Television Festival, and The Mandalorian felt like it reflected the genre that influenced George Lucas originally. Space adventure, westerns, samurai films, World War II adventure films. Those are the genres that inspired the tropes. Star Wars fans feel Favreau's inspiration marks the difference between him and the sequel trilogy directors. Fan criticized the Star Wars trilogy movies, episode 7, The Force Awakens, Episode 8, The Last Jedi, and Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. Fans were upset with Rian Johnson for killing off Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill, and Episode 8, J.J. Abrams was under fire for keeping the 3 main characters apart in Episode 9. Was that 9? I don't know. Sometimes it's hard with me for I believe it. Yeah, I believe it's actually Episode 7. Some say that that episode was bound to fail because they served the critics, they upset the fans, and vice versa. So that would have been Rian Johnson's. I think they got the Roman numerals wrong on that. Fans feel that Favreau was different from the directors of the sequel trilogy. He went back to the original of Star Wars, creator George Lucas. We definitely want to be consistent with Star Wars, but I want to be influenced by the stuff that influenced George, Favreau explained. When will The Mandalorian Season 2 be on Disney+? The Mandalorian filming was complete when the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic shutdown occurred. Therefore, Season 2 will premiere on Disney+ in October 2020 as planned. So that's something exciting. I love The Mandalorian. And the thing is with The Mandalorian, it has that grittiness that the original trilogy had, and I think that's what it is. And the thing is it kind of took what George did with the original trilogy, where he kind of made it like a space western, and kind of upped it to more of a spaghetti western, which I really love. I mean, when I was watching it, it was almost hard to believe that once Mando took his helmet off, that it wasn't Clint Eastwood underneath. So I really love The Mandalorian. I'm hoping some of the stuff they got coming up is just going to be just as good with the Obi-Wan Kenobi series and the other series they have coming up on Disney+. I'm hoping eventually this will start to inspire some of the filmmakers as they work on the other Star Wars movies. So, I mean, the thing is I really wish that things were different with Star Wars and the sequel trilogy. Like I've always said, I understand that Saving Mr. Banks was fictional, but if Disney would have took their own advice from when they made that movie, showing how Disney treated the writer of Mary Poppins, and they would have gave the same respect to George Lucas, I think the sequel trilogy would have been a hit. I really do. But they obviously bought George Lucas's idea for the next 3 movies, and then they didn't use them. So I really felt if they would have at least followed something that he would have put out, the sequel trilogy would have been better. But well, we got what we got, and unfortunately, it looks like they're starting to do away with that. So, but I really think they need to double down on it. Maybe write more books to make better sense of things would probably help out in that era. So those authors that are writing canon for the Disney really need to look into that and maybe start looking at things and trying to make things seem to make sense. They kind of did that with Rise of Skywalker with the book, the adaptation to the film, and which I haven't read and I've been wanting to read, but I haven't had a lot of time to read. So let's go on. Let's see. We got some more news. We're gonna cover a little bit of sports real quick. Of course, it's Michael Jordan. I love Michael Jordan, so that's why we covered him yesterday about his last 2 seasons with the Wizards. Let's see, and this comes from Essential Sports, the same place one. 22 years ago, Michael Jordan achieved something that no other person has managed to replicate till date. The legacy of Michael Jordan is untouchable. The iconic number 23 jersey proudly hangs on the rafters of the United Center for multiple reasons. MJ stirred up the NBA world with his extraordinary talents and made his fans drop their jaws in astonishment. That is true. The tale of Jordan's greatness is widely known, and there is no need for it to be retold once again. The 6 titles, 5 MVP awards, and many other honors stand bold in his mighty basketball resume. Along his career, MJ found a lot of attention, grew through fame, and was celebrated by his fans. The Jumpman had etched his name on many records in basketball. He tops the list in several scoring charts, and one can't forget his ability to excel in both offense and defense. Just like the plethora of records he holds to his name, there is also something Jordan did nobody in the world has ever done before, to be precise, in the world of print of media. Michael Jordan was no stranger to featuring on magazine covers. Due to his massive fame, Michael Jordan could never travel anywhere without fans following. One can only imagine how it would have been if his airness was his prime today. The attention, the media, the paparazzi, and everything. Not that he doesn't get any media attention these days. MJ, once again, reminded people of his legacy with the soaring success of The Last Dance. I have not seen that yet. I really want to see that. Moreover, in his playing days, there was no other NBA star like Michael Jordan. His on-court talents often got him appearing on magazine covers. If you talk about the most popular magazines around the world, or ones with a great deal of success, you might stumble upon the likes of Times, Fortune, and Sports Illustrated. These 3 giants in the industry had their own share of following in the market. In 1998, the Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan pulled off a sensational victory against the Utah Jazz to win the NBA championship. The Bulls became 6-time champions, and Michael Jordan was an instrumental member of the franchise that achieved the double three-peat. Following the massive triumph, the reality kicked in that MJ was no longer going to stay with the Bulls. The 6th championship just politely pulled the curtain on a historical career. MJ quitting the NBA became the most talked about matter. On June 22nd, 1998, 3 influential magazines coincidentally carried the photo of Michael Jordan on their cover. As put forth by Darren Rovell on Twitter, the June 22nd edition of Times, Sports Illustrated, and Fortune magazine all contained the photo of MJ. Appearing on a magazine cover was a common factor is MJ's professional life. However, even MJ had never managed to appear on the same dated edition on 3 different magazines before 1998. After this unique happening, no other personality, be it an athlete or a celebrity or a person of any such influence, has managed to achieve this. MJ remains the only person to have done so. It has been 22 years since this happened, just days after the Bulls' iconic second three-peat. Wow. So, yeah, I mean, I didn't know that happened. So, Michael Jordan appearing on 3 magazines at the same time on the cover. That's pretty amazing. So, and I really do want to see the Michael Jordan documentary, of course. And I guess I think it's on Netflix. I don't know. I'll have to check it out. I'll have to find out where it's at, whether it's on Netflix or Hulu, or I know it's not on Disney Plus. So let's see. We're going on down. Oh, here we go. All right. So if you're a fan of the TV show The Shield, this comes from Showbiz Cheat Sheet. Avenger Endgame fans should be happy this MCU star will not appear on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 7. With Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. winding down on ABC, fans are wondering if any of the show's characters will make their way to the movie. After all, Marvel film and television are working together for the first time, so the Marvel Cinematic Universe feels primed for some epic crossovers. This being Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s final season, MCU fans might expect the show to hew more closely to its big screen roots. Alas, at least one MCU star, most recently featured in Avenger Endgame, has confirmed she won't be popping up in the show's final episodes. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 7's time travel might come full circle. Much like Avengers Endgame, the final season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. hinges on time travel. Because of that, some fans believe the show is gearing up to follow the movie's example and visit the battle in New York. After all, Clark Gregg's Phil Coulson was killed by Loki. Tom Hiddleston in 2012, The Avengers. So far, that hasn't been the case. However, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has taken advantage of this opportunity to bring Enver Jokaj. I'm sorry, I can't. That's kind of hard to pronounce. It's Gjokaj and Daniel Souza back from the short-lived Agent Carter TV series. Jokaj stars as a fellow agent harboring a serious crush on Peggy Carter, Haley Atwell, while Sousa has referenced Carter. Atwell has spoken out about whether her character shows up too. Haley Atwell confirms she won't return to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. while engaging with fans on Instagram via comicbook.com. Atwell shut down any speculation about whether she would make a cameo in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 7. After a fan said they hoped to see her on the show, the actress responded with a simple no. In 2014, Atwell appeared in 2 episodes of Season 2. The very next year, Agent Carter began its two-season run on ABC. Atwell, however, has been a constant presence throughout the movies. She made her MCU debut in 2011, Captain America, the First Avenger, opposite Chris Evans. Some fans might be disappointed that Atwell won't be returning to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. However, those who enjoyed the way her storyline wrapped up in Avengers Endgame should be happy. After all, her connection to Evans, Steve Rogers, has been definitely resolved, or has it? Avenger Endgame already gave Peggy Carter the perfect send-off. At the end of Avengers Endgame, an older Captain America returns to pass the shield over to Sam Wilson, Anthony Mackie, though he refuses to discuss his wedding ring. Fans see a flashback in which Cap finally settles down with Peggy Carter. They finally get their oft-teased dance. This moment has proven so decisive that even the folks behind the movie can't agree on its implications. Director Joe and Anthony Russo maintain that Cap created a new timeline when he stayed with Peggy. Meanwhile, writers Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely believe he was always the mysterious man she married after Cap's own 1940s disappearance. In addition to maintaining Cap and Peggy's long-awaited happily ever after, keeping her off Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. retains this mystery. If fans want to imagine history has always had 2 Caps out there, they can still do so. But those who prefer the new timeline angle likely don't have to worry their interpretation will be clarified out of existence either. Everyone wins. So, yeah, I can see that. So, I think I prefer to see that there was 2 Caps. And I think he deserved that ending. So I really like that. And yeah, I really need to catch up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't think I've watched it since season 3. So that's one of the things I really need to get caught up with, especially they're in their final season, which most shows goes almost 10 to 12 seasons now. All right, so this guy I'm gonna probably mess up. This is more Star Wars news, and this is on Taika Waititi. I think that's the way you say it. I could be wrong. And this comes from the Hindustan Times. The Hindustan Times. All right. So here we go. So Taika Waititi would take breaks while shooting The Mandalorian to cuddle with Baby Yoda. Would be pretty heartless not to. Taika Waititi found Baby Yoda just as irresistible, adorable as the rest of us on The Mandalorian. He would cuddle with the doll during shoots. Filmmaker and actor Taika Waititi had the best time working on The Mandalorian. Not only did he get to be a part of the super hit Star Wars universe, he also got to cuddle Baby Yoda on the set, a dream for many. Taika, who directs the final episode of the series created by Jon Favreau, would take regular breaks during shoot only to cuddle with the Baby Yoda doll. Known as the child on the show, used on the show, he spoke to The Hollywood Reporter about why he thought it was necessary. It would be pretty heartless not to. The child belongs to the same alien species as Yoda from the original Star Wars movies. While it is about 50 years old, he is still a child considering the long lifespan of his species. Pedro Pascal's Mandalorian sets out to capture him for a bounty, but ends up building a relationship with him and makes it his job to protect him at all cost. Upon the child's introduction, fans were overwhelmed with love for him. They dubbed him Baby Yoda, made memes, shared his cute pictures all over the internet, and demanded that Disney brought plushes to the market so everyone could own their own Baby Yoda. Taka was not unaffected by the child's cuteness either. He reminded me so much of my baby when they were 6 months old. He said, I couldn't help it. I had to hold it in the same way, he added. Talking about working on the show, Taka said, I was never overwhelmed. Really, there were just so many moments of being really excited. It was pretty freaky, really. I never thought I'd be working with stormtroopers. Hey, Mama Mouse. I believe that's Mama Mouse. Oh, yeah. I don't think there's anybody who wouldn't. I probably should have wore my Baby Yoda t-shirt today, but I didn't. So, let's see. Jon Favreau has said that the second season of the series will arrive on time during a virtual panel for the ATX Television Festival. The filmmaker said the team had completed filming for season 2 before the industrial-wide shutdown due to the coronavirus pandemic. According to The Hollywood Reporter, the second season of the show is expected to debut in October this year. So, yeah, that's something I can't wait to see. I'm a big fan of Star Wars. I love Disney, but I think Star Wars is bigger for me than what Disney is. I could say I love them equally, but I can pretty much sit and just let Star Wars play in the background. So we got a little bit more Star Wars news, and this comes from Nerdist. And this is also on The Mandalorian. I gotta stop that. Dave Filoni on Ray Park's return as Maul for the Clone Wars finale. Star Wars The Clone Wars came to its epic conclusion this May 4th on Disney Plus, and Dave Filoni, the show's supervising director and executive producer, sat down with Nerdist Amy Ratcliffe to talk about working with Ray Park and his reprising Maul to perform the motion capture for his epic lightsaber duel. Obviously, this isn't something I can read. This is actually a YouTube video, and if you want to go watch it, it's on the Nerdist. So they talk about the return of Darth Maul. So I knew there was a little bit more. Oh, here we go. And I actually have a photo for this. Got a couple of photos. So this comes from WDW News Today. Photos, bright pink Cinderella Castle and Tron Light Cycle run construction from Disney's Contemporary Resort. So let me see if I can pull up the castle. You won't be able to see me. There it is. That's what it's looking like. Let me get down here so I can read it. With the reopening of DVC Reports members and their guests today, we were able to get our first real look at a project that we'd been following very closely before the closure of the park, the makeover of Cinderella Castle. Right away, the new vibrant blue roof stands out against even the brightest blue Florida sky. You'll also notice its new rosy hue as the walls have been transferred during closure from gray to rose gold pink. Eagle-eyed readers will notice in the left of this photo other favorite attractions and even a little bit of Main Street USA. Taking a closer look at the castle, you can see a crane is up against the back of the castle, meaning painting is actively underway. With the gold accent added to the finish, the look, these vibrant new colors certainly make a statement. Are you a fan of the new look, or do you miss the original color scheme? Let us know in the comments. All right, so I think I do like the new blue. I don't know. I've seen pictures of. I really like it. To tell you the truth, I think it just makes the castle pop, especially against the sky in the back. So I don't think really I'll notice, but I'll have to see it for myself in person to see that color. With the gold accent added to the finished look, these vibrant new colors certainly make a statement. Are you okay? So I just read that. All right, so I got another picture for you. This is what's coming up. Let me take that down, bring that up, and bring us back. So also visible from the Contemporary Resort is a bit of the construction for the Tron Light Cycle run. The backside of the show building can be seen here with tracks exiting the building on the right and the massive crane used to set the track pieces looming overhead. Daylight can be seen through the top left-hand corner of the building as well as through a patch further down, seen through the scaffold-like structure on the outside of the building. While construction was halted across Disney property for much of the closure, work has recently resumed. We are eager to see what work will have been completed by reopening day on July 11, 2020. So the Tron cycle is actually something I've been looking for. I can't say I was a fan of Tron when I was a kid, but it definitely looks like a ride that I will enjoy. I am one of those roller coaster, I would say tycoons, but I'm not a tycoon, but enthusiasts. And I really can't wait to ride the Tron coaster. So I've actually seen, because I think, is it one of the Chinese Disneylands has it? So I've actually seen some footage on it, and it looks amazing. And I really can't wait to ride that. So, all right, for some more news, we got some selected, or this comes from Walt Disney World News Today. All right. Select Star Wars Galaxy's Edge merchandise reportedly coming to Target. Merchandise from Black Spire Outpost may be heading much closer to you than a galaxy far, far away. According to yakface.com, select offerings from Star Wars Galaxy's Edge are reportedly coming to Target, though some may be coming in different forms than how they're sold at Disneyland and Disney Hollywood Studios. Figures from Star Wars The Black Series that were sold in collector's box sets would be sold individually at Star Wars, including Hondo Ohnaka, a Mountain Trooper, and Captain Cardinal. The report says figures would cost $24.99 each, with a Cardinal or Captain Cardinal Black Series helmet retailing for $99.99 for the hardcore collectors. Star Wars The Vintage Series would feature a Millennium Falcon inspired by the attraction Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run for $399.99. Wow. Though not specifically on Batuu, the Droid Factory would offer Build-A-Droid versions of 3 beloved members of the Star Wars saga, R2-D2 Dio from Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, and Chopper from the animated series Star Wars Rebels. The droids sold separately would retail for $14.99 each. And finally, some of the cuddliest representatives of Black Spire Outpost, the plush from the creature stall, is reported to be available at Target, with creatures including the Bantha, Tauntaun, Wampa, Ewok, I never seen the Ewok at the creature stall, Porg, and Lothcat. The plush is expected to retail for $12.99. Recently, Disney and Target have developed close ties, with Disney stores opening at 25 Target stores across the United States last year. Target was also announced to become the retail offering at Flamingo Crossing Town Center at the western entrance to Walt Disney World. Will you travel at light speed to Target to get Star Wars Galaxy Edge merchandise? Let us know in the comments. So, I mean, the thing is that's great, but the one thing that it takes away from me is that experience of actually buying that stuff at Galaxy's Edge. I mean, I guess if I seen it and it was something I wanted and I wasn't able to get back down there, which it looks like I'm not going to be able to get back down there right away, this is something that I could go to Target and actually see for myself. So, I mean, it's great that they're doing this, and I'm just wondering if Target is picking up because of the lack of Disney stores around anymore, because they seem to be going away. And that's really sad, because I like this Disney store, even though it seems now that Disney stores have kind of headed more towards child, being more for children. I've noticed that, but there is still a lot of stuff in there I like to see. You still can get adult t-shirts and everything like that, and I really love the Disney store, and I really hope that none of them that are close to me goes out. We've had some closer, now we have to drive farther to get to a Disney store, but yeah, I just love going into the Disney store. All right, so here we go. We got some news for Disneyland, and this also comes from WDW News Today. Disneyland Resort calling in cast members to work starting on June 28th ahead of reopening. Ahead of July 17th, Disneyland Resort theme park reopening, officials have begun calling in cast members back to work for start dates as early as June 28th, which is actually the start date for Walt Disney World as well. As you know, my daughter is a cast member, and I believe her schedule starts June 28th. She said she would know more by tomorrow when she's able to see her schedule. So I'll probably know a little bit more on that. According to the OC Register Brady McDonald, Disneyland began the process of recalling approximately 775 furloughed cast members this past weekend. The cast members will be among those in charge of preparing Disneyland Park and Disney California Adventures for their upcoming reopening on July 17th. Cast member union leaders were apparently shocked at the recall. Unions have been pushing back against what is considered an early reopening of the theme parks, given the sudden increase of confirmed COVID-19 cases, despite attempts to reach California Governor Gavin Newsom demanding that the theme park not open as planned. It appears Disneyland is moving full steam ahead with the reopening. As with Walt Disney World Resorts, we expect even more cast members to be recalled back into work the closer we get to the official reopening dates. So, I mean, here's the thing. I know that they got a petition to try and stop Disneyland from opening when it does, but to me, I just got this feeling that Disney's more prepared than what Universal is and what the other parks are for opening during this pandemic. Disney's usually the leader in all the technology for different kinds of stuff for theme parking, and I could see them leading the way in safety and being more prepared than what these parks have. They did wait. I know in Walt Disney World, Florida, they are going to be the last to reopen. And I think they stepped back and they were watching their competitors to see what works, what didn't work, and also if something did work, how they could improve on that. I think Disney's probably better to handle this than what our own government is in certain areas, because Disney is always looking to be ahead of everyone else. I just can't see Disney opening without knowing what they're doing. So I believe that you're always going to have those people that are against something. Most of those people that are signing petitions probably aren't even going to go to the park, so I don't know what they're worried about. And I believe they think that it's going to cause an increase. I think the increase in these places isn't just because of the theme parks. It's also because of other things that are open. Florida is a big tourist spot. Obviously, they're in California, around Los Angeles. Also, big tourist attractions around that area. And that's why they're probably getting an increase. Now, if it was Disneyland opened up before everything else, which may be the case, I don't know, I would feel safe going to Disneyland. I would. I believe that they set back their dates. I always feel like they set their dates back farther, so in case anything happens, they don't have to reschedule their dates. They set them back far enough so they can move them forward, not to move them back. So, all right, let's see. A little bit more of news for Marvel, and this is just on something to do with the Iron Man. This also comes from Showbiz Cheat Sheet. So let's take a look real quick. Why War Machine could never replace Iron Man. The future of Avengers is a grave peril, not from Thanos this time, but because of the absence of many of the key heroes. 3 of the original Avengers have died, and now Marvel Cinematic Universe fans are pining for some kind of substitute going forward, particularly for Iron Man. War Machine, aka Colonel James Rhodey Rhodes, would seem to be the most logical candidate to be the new Iron Man. However, some Marvel fans will accept no substitute and are fine with letting the past die. Ever since Tony Stark made his ultimate sacrifice in Avengers Endgame, people on screen and off have been wondering how to carry on without the man who started off the whole MCU, but there doesn't seem to be any consensus on how to do it. I believe they already got someone set up to be taking his place. He goes by the name of Spider-Man. Some fans have suggested maybe there could be some kind of Iron Man Jr., like the Ironheart character, a teenage girl who builds a Stark suit. It has also been suggested that the Young Avengers could carry the torch, and the Young Avengers included a character called Iron Lad. Some fans have suggested that Tony's bereaved daughter Morgan could be a future hero. Some fans are so attached to Iron Man they haven't gotten to the acceptance part of the 5 stages of grief. They have sometimes suggested bringing Tony back through flashbacks or some kind of Doctor Strange mysticism. Never mind the money that Disney would have to hand over to Robert Downey Jr. to do it. So the path of least resistance would seem to be to put War Machine front and center, if not in an MCU movie, then a Disney Plus series. When we last left War Machine, he wasn't in a great place personally or heroically. In fact, the character has had a rather fraught history with the MCU since the very beginning. Terrence Howard played Rhodey in the first Iron Man, and he was ready to go as War Machine, down to him saying "next time, baby" during the first movie. As we all know, that was not to be, with Don Cheadle taking the role from Iron Man 2 forward. Once Cheadle came on board, however, Marvel seemed not to know what to do with War Machine. He was certainly a capable ally in Iron Man 3, but he paid a steep price for siding with Team Iron Man in Captain America Civil War. In the Avengers vs. Avengers fight, he was critically wounded by Vision's friendly fire, and he ended up not playing a major role in the Infinity War Endgame double bill. Now, it's hard to tell where he would fit in the MCU going forward. The only movie where he would obviously fit is the 3rd Spider-Man movie, since Peter Parker was carrying on Tony's legacy. But many fans think this subplot has been overdone, and there's no sign of a War Machine series for the small screen either. So yeah, like I said, I believe that they're just going to have to somehow work with Sony, and Spider-Man is going to have to be the new Iron Man, which I think Spider-Man should have always been there anyway. But other than that, for like replacing his genius, we got Reed Richards on the way from the Fantastic Four. So that's something to look forward. So there's a lot of different people that can replace Tony. Maybe not one character altogether, but multiple characters replacing Tony Stark or Iron Man. So I think everything's going to be fine. I mean, I know a lot of people fell in love with Iron Man, and actually in the comics, Iron Man was big, but his success wasn't as big as what Spider-Man's was. Obviously, Spider-Man, who was the front character for Marvel ever since back in the 60s, and it was really sad that when Marvel came to, unfortunately, Sony owned the rights. So, but it was great that they were actually able to make a deal with Sony, and I know they have had their scuffles, but hopefully they can start to play nice and give the audience what they want so they can make money off of what the audience wants and to create stories that the audience will like. So let's take a little farther look. Let's see if we got anything else. Let's see. Marvel Avengers confirms free upgrade. I'm looking a little farther. Let me do. Oh, here we go. So this is on Frozen 2. I don't know if I reported on this already, but it's from Cinema Blend. I think we did. I think we already went on over that. Let me do something real quick. Let's see if we got anything else we can look up. Let's see. Okay, all right, let's do this one. This one's from Forbes. Disney workers, please don't reopen U.S. theme parks. A petition started by Disney World workers on Saturday asking the resort to delay its opening has garnered thousands of signatures, while workers at Disneyland Resort on the West Coast have undertaken a similar effort with coronavirus cases spiking in many areas of the United States. The Disney World petition had nearly reached its goal of 4,000 signatures by Monday, with the world's most visited vacation destination scheduled to start reopening its Central Florida theme parks next month. Workers at Disneyland have taken efforts even farther as union leaders representing 17,000 employees sent a letter to California Governor Gavin Newsom last week saying that rising coronavirus cases there make it unsafe for the resort to reopen on its planned date of July 17th. California on Monday reported a new high in hospitalization, beating out a record that had stood since April, while Florida reported several record daily increases on coronavirus cases last week. Universal Studios and SeaWorld, two competing theme parks in the Orlando area, have already opened with tightened safety and hygiene guidelines. As of now, Disney World plans to reopen its Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom parks on July 11th, followed by Epcot and Hollywood Studios on July 15th. So let's see. Disneyland has been closed since March 14th and Disney World since March 16th, leading to the furloughs of some 100,000 workers, but Disney has already started to reopen some of its resorts properties, including its parks in Shanghai and Hong Kong. In Florida, it also reopened its Disney Springs shopping area, previously called Downtown Disney, and reopened its Fort Wilderness Resort and campgrounds on Monday. Wow. 58 million, that's how many visitors Disney World says makes a trip to the resort in an average year. When Disney parks do reopen, they will do so with greatly enhanced hygiene procedures and require temperature screening for guests, with all visitors above the age of 2 required to wear a face mask. Disneyland worker, so yeah, I mean, I have not heard of this petition yet. Of course, I don't think my daughter signed it. Maybe she has. I don't know. But I think she's ready to get back to work, is what I think it is. And I think there are a lot of people there who are actually ready to get back to work. Now, whether Heaven would sign that petition or not, I would not broadcast that on here. That's actually her business, not mine. Even if she was willing to share that with me, I still would not report on here whether she signed or not. But like I said, I believe she's willing and ready to go back to work. So let's see. So we're just a little short of an hour. I think we may have covered everything we want. Looking through. Just a few other things. Yeah, that looks like it's... Wait, hold on. You know, I did miss something. Let me go back and find it real quick. There was one other thing that I seen. Oh, here it is. Yes. And this comes from WDMagic.com. And it's Disney's Hollywood Studios is the first park to hit capacity for Disney Park Pass availability. Disney Hollywood Studios is now at capacity for the first 2 days of its reopening. Disney Park Pass reservation began early today, open to Disney Resort guests only, and at 2:15. So I don't think it was today. I think it was probably yesterday or the day before. And by 2:15, Disney Hollywood Studios reached capacity for both July 15th and July 16th, 2020. Currently, all other dates and parks have full availability, although reservations are continuing, and on Friday will be joined by Disney annual pass holders. Disney has previously said that it expects people to have difficulty in obtaining reservations on some days, and that has turned out to be correct. Disney's Hollywood Studios is perhaps viewed as the hot ticket now with Star Wars Galaxy's Edge and Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Recently opened, the compact nature of the park would also likely give it the smallest distance capacity of the 4 Walt Disney World theme parks. So they've already reached capacity on the first 2 days. So if you were hoping to go to Disney Hollywood Studios and you don't have a reservation, it looks like you're going to have to wait after the first 2 days. I kind of knew this was happening, and I had a feeling that this would happen because, like they said, it's the hot ticket right now. There's people who haven't ride Rise of Resistance. There's people who haven't rode the new Mickey and Minnie Runaway Railway. That's kind of hard to say, but I always called it Runaway Railroad. But yeah, so I think that's what's going on. So I hope that as time goes by, of course, they're going to increase capacity and more will be let in. Obviously, nobody knows what that schedule is, where they go from 25% to 50%, or where they'll go from 50% to 75% on. I think we've got a long wait until they get back up to 100%. I would say hopefully by the end of the year, but due to the fact that it says the reservation system is going to continue until September 2021, I think that we might almost have to wait that long. But like I've said before, they usually set their dates out farther depending on the situation, so they don't have to. All right. Candy Mom, you want me to start over? I'm basically at the end. I did it almost an hour's worth of Disney, Star Wars news, and a little bit of sports. I think starting over might be a little difficult for me. But I can tell you this, that right after me at 10 o'clock, Dole Whip Dad's going to be on, and they're celebrating, I believe, the birthday of the Tiki Room. So I can't wait to see that. I hope to see the rest of you over there at Dole Whip Dad's channel for that. Jeff and Paula will be on there, and they're probably going to talk about their different stuff about the Tiki Room, which I'll find it interesting. I'm going to try and join in. I do have other things I have to do, and then I know after them, Myers and the Mouse is on, with Mama Mouse being on there. So hopefully, we can catch a couple of those streams. But I do have to look for a job as well. So I'm hoping to hear something back here pretty soon. I think what they're doing is just going over my stuff. But I think that's going to be it for the news today. Thank you all for watching. Did I get any news? There was some stuff on the parks. There was some talk about there was some problems with the reservation system for the Walt Disney World app, or for the My Disney Experience app. The first 2 days for Hollywood Studios is at capacity. And I did show a couple of pictures. I'll show you those couple of pictures right now. These are actually pictures from the contemporary of the castle and what it looks like now. So you can kind of see that. What is it called? A rose gold pink. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I've had some return on background checks. I've had a company send me asking me for additional questions, but I will put some of this stuff up for you, Candy Mom, since you were here. So there's the look of the castle with the rose gold pink and the blue. Of course, it's from contemporary, so it's not very close. And then we have the Tron construction, the show building, which is actually gone back under construction. So, but yeah, as of for work, I'm still working on it. The one place I've been applying to, I applied in 2 different places, and the one drive is like 45 minutes away from me. The other one's like 33 minutes away from me. I'm hoping something will be closer. So I'm actually working on getting into a service that will take my time that was in the military and add it into that. So I'm hoping I can get a job with them. But and I'm afraid when I get a new job, it might mess up my schedule a little bit. I'm hoping that it doesn't do anything with me being on Disney Friends, and maybe those guys would be willing to work with me to change it up, maybe moving it to 6:30 or 7 o'clock. But if not, it's not a big deal. I know Gonzo will have me on other stuff if I can't be on Disney Friends anymore, but I'm hoping that doesn't happen. So we'll just have to see. But I think we're going to have to wrap it up. So once again, I thank you all. Thank you, Candy Mom, for showing up. I appreciate you. We had Jaden and Myers and the Mouse in the chat. I thank both of them for coming. And as I've always said, if you like my content, please give me a thumbs up. If you're watching replay, give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment in the bottom if there's anything I reported on that you found interesting, or maybe something that you found that might differ from what I read. It is possible. They're usually like third-party news, and they're not always correct. And if you're new to the channel and you like to comment, please hit the subscribe button and that notification bell so you know when I go live or when I post a video. Also, speaking of that, tonight is Hanging with the Family. No problem, Mama Mouse. Tonight we have Hanging with the Family. We don't usually have a guest. We had a guest last week, which was the Robe. This week we are going to be doing Disney trivia. I believe we're going to do it straight from the Disney app. And Heaven and I and Margie, we're going to kind of do Disney trivia, and we're going to also do it with the chat. So be sure to come in and see that. Also, tonight, I think it's at 9:30 on Taco Tuesday, Gonzo's channel, we will be playing Color Brain again, because I found a bunch of Color Brain cards that we haven't used yet. So, but let's see, we're almost to the end of the hour. We're probably going to be wrapping up a little bit early. Once again, like I said, you got Dole Whip Dad coming on here at 10 o'clock. You got Myers and the Mouse following up with that. I definitely am going to go in. I don't know if I'll be able to stay the whole time. Like I said, I've got things going on, but I definitely will come in and say hi. So I'll come in and say hi to you, Mama Mouse, of course. But as for that, I hope to see you in the chat of both those live chats. And thanks for watching. I hope to see you tomorrow. And remember, good morning.